Hi all, this is Desirae with CCDBT. I am one of the clinicians and also one of the skills trainer for our multifamily group. I wanted to take a few minutes to address a question that we often get here at CCDBT, and that question being, why is the multifamily group format helpful? So goal is to definitely not only answer that question, but provide a rationale as to why we've decided to structure the group in the way that we have and address a couple common questions that we get when people are inquiring about this specific group. Before I jump into all of that, though, I want to give you a very brief kind of overview of what that group looks like, because I think that's pretty important to know. So, our group is for one teen and one parent or caregiver that's really important to that teen's life or to that teen in general. And they're coming in together on a weekly basis, attending the 2 hour skills group for a total of 6 months. And so the teen and the parent are very much learning the skills side by side. So just as the teen is, the parent is expected to be an active member within the group. So they're participating in any activities that we have going on. They're participating in um, the skills homework that is assigned from week to week, and they're coming in and sharing what that homework was. Um, so they're an active member of that group. So also the format in terms of teaching the skills falls very much in line with our adult skills training groups, in such that we still teach core mindfulness, emotion regulation, interpersonal effectiveness, and distress tolerance. However, the multifamily group has a fifth module that was specifically designed by the authors of this program, and then it's called Walking the Middle Path. So within this module, the parent and the teen are learning how to address any problematic patterns that they're seeing within, their relationship or within the household. They're learning how to validate one another and how to receive that validation from this other person. And they're also learning how to increase the flexibility of their thoughts. So, very much moving away from all or none or black and white thinking and being able to consider and see the world through a dialectical perspective. So again, just a very brief overview of kind of what it is that we're looking at in terms of this group. So when thinking about, why do we have the parents come in? Why would this be beneficial? The first thing that we really believe in is that it's important for the parent to come in and to learn the exact same skills that their teen is learning. This provides them the ability to have the same language, to have the same knowledge as their teen's providers, but as their teen as well. So if and when a crisis or a problem arises without the therapeutic kind of realm or outside of that realm, they are able to provide um, encouragement and in-person kind of coaching through those moments by use of these skills. And because they have that knowledge, they've learned and they've practiced, and they can appreciate how difficult some of these are, they then can be even more effective when trying to help their teen in those moments. Also, believe it or not, parents, you're human, just like myself and your teen and everybody else. And so, of course, it's reasonable to expect that you're going to have just your own difficulties, right? Regulating your own emotions, running into interpersonal difficulties, engaging in your own problem behaviors. Heck, we all do it, I'm first to admit that for sure in group. And, so this can benefit you into your day to day life as well, in addition to supporting, your teen and through the things that they've got going on. We also hear time and time and time again from parents that one of the most beneficial parts, above and beyond just learning these skills and improving the relationship with their teen, is having this built-in support network. So we're hearing parents say how nice it is to know that their teen, their family are not alone in the struggles that they come and present with, and that they feel very validated and supported, not just by the skills trainers themselves, but by the other family members. We see a lot of encouragement, or a lot of people saying, "Hey, we too, at the beginning of joining this group, found those similar kind of issues, blocking points, barriers, whatever we want to call them, and this is how we got through them. Stick with it, stick with the group skills, and things we really, really believe are going to get better for you just as they did for us. Invaluable is some of the feedback that we're hearing from the parents about that support network. And so then, a question that naturally rises within all of this is, what if another parent or another caregiver want to also join the group? And our initial reaction here is like, heck yes, I love, love, love to hear when people want to learn skills. And by golly, it is not only the mission of CCDBT, but a personal mission of mine to get as many skills out there as I possibly can to people. And, of course, we've got to balance that with what is reasonable and going to be effective for the overall group process. So we've really thought about why we're going to cap it at a certain number, which is 8 to 10 people total for the group. This goes to 4 to 5 family members. So we know research really supports that we don't go over 8 to 10 people, because then we're just not having enough time for people to share their homework. We're not having enough time to provide enough feedback for people, kind of corrective learning experiences, or to really highlight, and celebrate the wins that our families and our teens are experiencing, when practicing these skills. And then just answering general questions about things. Like, of course, things are going to come up. You're going to want to know the answer to them. And if we have too many people in the group, then that's not possible. So one reason why we limit to one teen, one parent. Another reason is that this really provides a pretty unique and rich opportunity for the teen and the parent to, once they turn off their computer screens for the group, go into the other family members, to the other parent, caregiver, children in the home, and say, hey, look at this really cool thing that we learned in group. We think this is going to be really helpful. Or so far, this is the thing that we think is going to be one function of improving our relationship. And then they can go and teach that to those family members. And that only enhances, their learning of that skill. So also, we want, the parents to be able to learn every single skill, just like we want their teen to learn that. And obviously, in order to do that, the most effective way is to get them to come to group every single week. So if we have parents sometimes having this idea of like flip-flopping, back and forth, it's like, okay, well, to keep the numbers down, we'll just attend every other week, and why I love the problem solving. It's a great brainstorming kind of activity for people to try to figure out how can we make all of this work. We say, let's think about this one too. Like I was just saying, just as your teen, we want you to know every single skill, because some skills build upon each other and you need to have that knowledge from the previous week to be as effective as you can for this skill. Or just in general, if you're only here essentially 50% of the time, you've only really learned and had the opportunity to practice and get feedback for 50% of those skills. So when you go out into the world and need to practice everything and to use them in your life, you're just not going to be as effective as you possibly can. So we would really love to see the problem solving you guys kind of keep going in your life. And at the same time, like that's an idea that we can't necessarily entertain. So then families are kind of like, well, what in the world are we going to do then? Because we respect, your guys' limits about what's going on in terms of group structuring. And at the same time, we very much want this other person to learn the skills. And we think this is really important. So we're here to encourage, everybody to consider another round of skills training, right? So once somebody can complete or does complete their first 6 months of DBT training, a conversation is then had with the family, skills trainer, individual therapist, and really thinking through, hey, would another round be beneficial? And our viewpoint is often yes, because it enhances the opportunities for additional learning. It just reinforces the learning that already has happened. And it really arises different opportunities for that person to practice skills in situations that may not have happened in the first 6 months, right? Not same everyday crises happen across time. And so how beneficial is it to go through that situation using skills, getting feedback from the skills trainer through that additional 6 months? And then that would allow for the other family member, parent, caregiver, whoever it might be, to come in and learn those skills alongside the team. Now, we recognize that doesn't happen for every family. It may not be the appropriate choice, for that team to continue through for additional skills training. So we're here to problem solve. We're not going to say, well, too bad, so sad by any means. By golly, we're going to get you into another group if that's possible. We may refer you to a different practices group if we need it or anything like that. We really want you to learn the skills. And again, for the reasons provided, we're gonna cap it at one person who consistently attends a group with that team. So that's what I have for you guys. That was a kind of a quick rundown of what is this group, what's the format, why is it structured the way that it is. Hopefully, again, it answered a lot of the questions or concerns that you might have. If things are still kind of unanswered, please, by golly, reach out to us. We are more than happy to answer any additional questions that you might have. And as of this video, we have some openings. And so we would love to be able to talk to you further and seeing if joining the multifamily group would be an effective choice for you and your team. Thanks so much.